Well, boy, I get to speak to some students, huh? I asked my daughters when they graduated, I said, when the person gave the speech, what did you learn? And number two, who was it? It's amazing in regard to, they had really no idea in regard to who it was or what the message was all about. And when Dr. Ryan asked me to speak to you, I told him one thing. I said, well, to be honest with you, it'll be very, very brief. And he said, you know what? I think you'll be very popular with this group of students. So here it goes. I have to say, first of all, in regard to the Distinguished Award, I guess I looked in regard to what that was, and it basically was being a volunteer. And I would have to say, in regard to being a volunteer, we are volunteers. We are volunteers, our family, my daughter Lindsay, my other daughter Megan, but also Janice and I, and we are really proud supporters of Chadron State College. We did that when we were here previously. We've done it here today. We're going to do it here tomorrow. And about 30 years ago, I actually worked a bank in this particular community, and I worked with the foundation at that time, and there were people like Jerry Johnson and Gordon Schaefer, and there's a guy by the name of President Ed Nelson, and the building across the way is named for him. Those are the people that I got to work with at that time. And the one thing that was real important to them, which I thought was really good, was their focus was trying to find some extra dollars for this school, trying to find some extra dollars for you students. That was really what their focus was. Well, years passed, and they never had done a major campaign, and we've got Connie Rasmussen sitting over here, and she by far is the best person in regard to asking for money of anybody I've ever found. She came to us and said, it's time for us to have a campaign because there is some needs out here. And so we were more than happy to help her out. We made a few introductions, and with President Ryan's help, former President Janie Park's help, and also with Connie in regard to the kind of dollars that she asked for, we had some success. But truly in regard to that success all stems around the students that are here today, and also the students that have passed on in regard to Chadron State. It's really, really been important. Well, on with my speech, okay? I'm going to come up with about 7 or 8 ideas, maybe. We'll just see how far this goes. But brings up a story in regard to my brother who basically when we were quite young, he had to take piano lessons, my older brother. When my older brother took piano lessons and he had his first recital, and when you're young and you have your recital and you have to turn around and play, you can't have the music. But anyway, he learned one thing. He said, the teacher told me that I needed to know the first part of the music and the last sentence or the last part of the music, and basically the recital will go very well. And so I never got to sit in on it, but he went in for his piano recital, and 30 seconds later he was out. He basically played the front, he played the last, he never played any verses at all, but he was done. This won't be quite that quick, okay? I basically work for a bank, and in regard to the work you're going to do, wherever it's going to be, whatever job you're going to take, I got a couple of things that I think are really, really important. And it's something that we found out in regard to the Chadron State kids. Also in regard to the people that I've been able to place in my job. All in all, in regard to just because of your background, you basically don't pay a whole lot of attention in regard to time. And what I mean by that, you come in early and you actually work late. You, for the most part, in regard to that kind of job, that's important. The other thing, too, is you actually volunteer. Volunteering is really, really important today. Second thing, in regard to a couple of things you're going to think about, is a lot of us, for the most part, set goals. And you probably have set goals. One of those goals today is in regard to this graduation. But I can tell you your goals are going to change. And they're going to change in regard to a lot of reasons in regard to what's going to happen. But more importantly, they're going to change, don't be concerned about it. A lot of it you have control on that, but continue to set those goals because that's very, very important. It really, really is. The third thing would be in regard to attitude. And the one thing I tell our folks is you can't afford to have a bad attitude. In fact, I tell people for the most part, if you're having a bad day, you need to leave. we can't allow people to have a bad day. You know, you just simply aren't allowed. In fact, sometimes I've actually told people to take vacations, because truly in regard to attitude, it's all about attitude in regard to what you're going to do. Whatever you're going to do, if you don't have a good attitude, people are going to pick that up right away. The other thing is, in regard to social media, you kids for the most part understand social media more than I do. And you know, we did a little survey at the bank the other day, and we found out people that switch banks, so to speak, people under 35, the majority of people there are switching banks because of mobile banking, because of technology, ATMs, all those kind of things. Over 55, you basically still want that facility. But the one thing in regard to social media, Facebook, Twitter, you know, LinkedIn, I guess I'm LinkedIn somewhere. You know, those things for the most part are really, really good. They're great tools, but you know what? Eventually you got to find out that you need to know something about people. In other words, find out in regard to people. You need to have conversations with people. Good influence is very, very important today. I can't tell you enough in regard to how you need to value education. And I say that from the standpoint of, you know, I hate to think of how many schools my wife Janice has gone to. Wherever we've lived, she basically has gone to school. We lived out here in Chadron. We lived in Norfolk, Nebraska. She went to Wayne State. We lived in Omaha. She went to UNO. My daughter Lindsay, who's sitting here, she basically went to Chadron State. She got a master's from Wayne State College, and now she's working on a doctorate out of the University of South Dakota. My other daughter, Megan, she basically has a University of Nebraska degree, but currently she's working on a degree in design, in interior design, and it comes out of London, England, and she's doing this all online. But education, in regard to what you can find, you got to continue to find out. You got to continue to find out things. Continue in regard to education. And then the last thing I would say is find your passion, whatever it is. And that can be in the job, that can be in your friends, that can be in activities, whatever, but find your passion. But I would say the one thing that's important is make sure in regard to the work is work, but when you come home, make sure you come home and home is home. Sometimes don't bring that work home. It really doesn't make any sense at all. And we all do it, but I'm telling you, it's really not. It's really not the thing to do. Finally, in regard to wherever you get placed, and I'm an old farm kid, you know, you certainly want to plant your seeds. And I say that from the standpoint of wherever you are, wherever you get planted, you've got seeds to plant, and that's very, very important. Finally, you know, I just want to tell you, I want to thank you very much for us, I guess, letting us share this special day. We're really, really proud of you. I'm proud of you. Your families are proud of you. Whatever state you're from is proud of you. And you know what? We wish you the best, and God bless you. Thanks.